Hello and welcome back to another video. So in the last video what we did was promoted the server here on the right to a domain controller and bind this Windows 10 computer to that domain. But the problem here is these VMs are still publicly exposed. As you see, we do have the public IP here. So let's remove this, and then we're going to work to remove it from the portal. So let's do it from the diagram for now. This thing is kind of finicky. Alright, so that's removed. Okay, so let's sign into the portal. And for the sake of this video, I actually went ahead and removed the public IP just to keep this video short. So just let me show you where you would go and do to remove the public IP. You would go to resource groups. And what you want to do is actually click on a resource, and you would see the public IP listed for each VM. So the public IP for the server was called vi-dc-ip, and same for the Windows 10. So what you would do is click on the public IP, and first you have to dissociate and then delete, and then that would actually remove the public IP. And you can confirm that by going to the virtual machine, and when in the run-in state you won't see a public IP address listed. Okay, so the question is, how would we connect to these virtual machines if we can't RDP in? Okay, so the answer is Azure Bastion. So Azure Bastion is a fully managed service that provides more secure and seamless RDP and SSH access to virtual machines without any exposure through public IP addresses. Provision the service directly in your local or peer network to get support for all the VMs within it. So let's go ahead and provision this Azure Bastion. So we can search it here. So Bastion. So let's go ahead and create this. Subscription is fine. Resource group, let's put it in the same resource. Let's call this Azure Bastion. Region is fine. We're gonna leave this as basic. So virtual network, we want to put it in the same virtual network that our VMs are in. So as you see, we got an error here. To associate a virtual network with a bastion, it must contain a subnet with the name Azure Bastion subnet. So it has to be named. We have to create a subnet, and it has to be named Azure Bastion subnet. So let's go ahead and actually create this subnet. So let's go to manage subnet. These are the two subnet we created. As you see from the diagram here, two different subnet, the .1 and the .2. So let's go ahead and just create a .3. So it has to be called Azure Bastion subnet. Let's give this a .3 and /27. We're gonna keep all these as default. We can save this. Oh, typo. So let's go ahead and click this. We have to edit this name here, which I don't believe we can. So we're gonna have to get rid of this and recreate it. Okay, so Azure. Not sure you guys are seeing this. Okay, so we're gonna give this .3 with a /27 CIDR. Okay, Okay, so that's created. So let's go back to creating our Bastion. So let's go here, create Bastion, resource group. Let's call this Azure. Keep it in the same region as the VMs. We can switch this to basic. We don't need standard, it's not necessary. Same virtual machine, and then we do have the subnet, which is this Azure subnet. And we need to create a new public IP. So the Bastion host will itself have a public IP. Can leave this as is, review and create. To associate virtual. Of at least. Okay. So let's make the adjustment there. Okay, there we go. Okay, quick summary here. We can hit create. Okay, so we have that resource deployed. Okay, so if you go to resource, we see this Azure Bastion deployed in our resource group. Okay, there we go. So let's try to connect to one of these virtual machines. All right, so what we want to do, let's go here. We're going to hit connect and we're going to hit Bastion. Use Bastion. And we're going to provide the username and password for this particular VM. And here we go. We are accessing this VM directly from the Azure portal via a Bastion, which in essence is a jump box. And we can do the same for the other virtual machine we have running. If we click here, can hit connect, select Bastion, use Bastion, input our creds here. And just easy as that, we have our two virtual machines running here. This is the server and this is the Windows 10 computer. Okay, so if we go back here, actually, just to see the other options of connecting, if we hit connect RDP, we can't connect, obviously, via this private IP address. If we launch remote desktop, we won't be able to communicate using this private IP. And we won't be able to do it SSH unless we have the key. So Bastion hosts, it's a convenient way of connecting. It allows for a fast, secure connection to any VM within this this VNet we have going. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys how to deploy, how to provision a Bastion host, and connect to your virtual machines this way. With that, I conclude this video. Thank you for watching.